All right, welcome back to WMMA Scene Now with your host Chuck Stevenson, and welcome to episode number 59 of the WMMA Scene Report, show where we go over all the latest and greatest in the happenings of the women's mixed martial arts divisions, go over results, news, rankings, talk about upcoming fights, basically everything that's going on. We try to condense it all into this one show. Normally it's weekly, but there haven't been any fights in about a month and a half almost. But finally, MMA is back. UFC has an event this Saturday, UFC 249, and then they have a fight night this Wednesday, and then another fight night on Saturday, and then I believe they have another one on the 23rd. And then Shudo is back in Japan. They're putting on an event. And then there's rumblings of an MMA event coming up next month in South Korea. So MMA is finally starting to recover from the you-know-what. It's a good time to be a fan right now. It was a lousy time this last month and a half, but it's a great time to be a fan right now. So hopefully we'll be able to get these shows every week again. Anyway, there's no results to talk about, so let's go into the news. All right, first up, UFC Fight Night Jacksonville on the 13th. A bantamweight fight has been announced for Sijara Eubanks, 4-4, taking on Sarah Morris, 6-5. So nice little fight there. Probably a losers leaves town match for those two. So it should be very interesting to watch. That's the one going on next Wednesday. UFC Fight Night Florida 5/16. That's next Saturday. Has two ladies fights announced. First up, a flyweight bout between Courtney Casey 8-7 and Mara Romero Barella coming in at 12-7. That's an interesting one there. That's, I think, the toughest fight for me to call. There's also a strawweight bout. Claudia Gadelha, 17-4, taking on Angela Hill, 12-7. That fight is going to be fire. Very much looking forward to that fight. Also, UFC Fight Night 5/23. I don't think the location has been made official for this one. I think they're trying to be back in Vegas for this, but most likely going to be in Florida again. At strawweight, Mackenzie Dern, 7-1, taking on Hannah Cifers, 10-4. Yo, can Hannah Cifers get a break? I mean, she's like one of the smallest fighters in the strawweight division. They keep putting her up against these chicks that like never make weight or are just the biggest fighters in the division. I mean, her debut was a late notice fight against not Mackenzie Dern. That's who she's fighting. The other chick that's notorious for missing weight. Barber. Yeah. Macy Barber, Mackenzie Dern. I mean, she's just facing all kinds of big girls. Angela Hill's not a big fighter for the strawweight. She faced her too, but man, that's like she's not catching a break. Poor girl. Anyway, UFC 250, June 6th. Featherweight Championship. Amanda Nunes, 19-4, defending against Felicia Spencer, 8-1. So that fight was originally scheduled for this weekend, or at least it was verbally agreed to. And then Amanda Nunes was like, no, I never actually agreed to that fight. I need a full fight camp. So it got moved back to June. Frankly, I'm in the camp that I don't blame Amanda Nunes. She's the champion. She has everything to lose. If she can't get a good fight camp in, why should she fight? Why risk your title? Why risk the money you make from having that title? That's the only thing that title is worth. That particular title, that featherweight title, that's the only really thing that's worth, is money. You get more money being a champion. So why risk that money if you can't get a good fight camp in? Particularly against Spencer, who, while not the greatest featherweight fighter, is going to present some problems to Amanda Nunes. So I don't blame Amanda Nunes for doing that. Anyway, moving on. Japanese promotions, Deep and Deep Jewels, have announced that they are suspending events all the way until July. Shigeru Seiki, the CEO of the two promotions, said that he just does not want to risk overburdening the healthcare system over in Japan. So he's holding off events until July when he says he plans to hold 4 events in the month of July. So if that really happens, July is going to be a very big month for Deep and Deep Jewels and Japanese mixed martial arts in general. And then finally in the news, Shudo is back. They're going to hold an event May 31st. It's going to be in a TV studio owned by Abima TV. That's their online broadcaster. It's going to be audienceless, but they're holding an event, so that's a good sign in the right direction as well. They're going to have 2 ladies fights. It's going to be the semifinals of their super atomweight 110-pound tournament. First up, Mina Kurobi taking on Saori Oshima, and then on the other side of the bracket, Megumi Sugimoto taking on Miku Nakamura. Now, I've talked about those fights in the past. Should be easy to look up on the page. Basically, 2 fairly one-sided fights. Excuse me. Basically going to be 2 fairly one-sided fights. I would expect Sugimoto and Kurobi to win those. So, anyway, that's it for the news. So, normally, this is when we talk about the rankings. UFC, no new rankings updates. However, One Championship has released their first official rankings. They're going to be updated after every event. We're going to get to those in a minute. That's going to be tonight's discussion topic because I'm going to explain just about everything about them. So next up, we're going to move into one of my personal favorite segments, one I like to call Welcome to the Scene. It's where we welcome all of the latest named public subscribers. If your settings are set to public as far as your subscriptions go, I get notified when you subscribe. So welcome to The Brother Man, Krista Olsen, Cribbler Couture, Valiant Sade, Testal 2000, Raymondus A, Dylan Nagara, Imlong, Asia May, Cam Hong, Stefan Garcia, George Hewlett, Shiv Chara, Corinne Zapatella, and Mark Zima. Welcome back, Mark Zima. Mark had subscribed earlier, must have left for a while, and now he's back. So welcome back, Mark. And hey, to the rest of you, welcome to the scene. So now let's talk about upcoming events. Bring the tablet up here. That's what I have them on. Okay, so first up, UFC 249. One fight in the strawweight division. Carla the Cookie Monster Esparza taking on Michelle the Karate Hottie Watterson. Esparza coming in 15-6. Watterson coming in 17-7. So pretty close experience levels there. Esparza coming in off of 2 wins over Verna Jandiroba and then Alexa Grasso, respectively. Grasso was 7 months ago. Watterson coming in off a loss to Joanna Jędrzejczyk 6 months ago, preceded by a win over Karolina Kowalkiewicz a year ago. So Watterson is a couple years older, 34 to Esparza's 2 years, or 32 rather. Watterson is slightly taller, 5 feet 3 inches, 161 centimeters, to Esparza's 5 feet 1 inches, 155 centimeters. However, Esparza has a ever so slight reach advantage, 63 inches, 160 centimeters, to Watterson's 62 inches, 157 centimeters. So I did a full video preview of this fight. Please feel free to go check it out as well after this is done. I picked Esparza to win this. I think that once she gets the fight to the ground, she's going to be able to, her top control is just very heavy, very controlling, very stifling, and will sapping, and her stand-up has come a long way and is still underrated. So that's why I picked Esparza over Watterson. Watterson's always dangerous on the feet. She has a huge array of kicks, very submission savvy, so she's always dangerous, but I'm going with Esparza on this one. And then next Wednesday, UFC Fight Night Jacksonville. They have one ladies fight at bantamweight. Sijara Eubanks 4-4 versus Sarah Morris 16-5. Let's look at this one here a little better. Sijara Eubanks coming off of 2 straight losses to Aspen Ladd and then Betch Correia, respectively. Sarah Morris coming in off a win over Liana Jojua 8 months ago in Abu Dhabi. However, she preceded that one with 3 straight losses. Eubanks, 3 years the elder, 35 to Morris's 32. Morris, the taller fighter, 5 feet 7 inches, 170 centimeters, to Eubanks, 5 feet 3 inches, 160 centimeters. However, they have an identical reach of 67 inches, 170 centimeters. Interesting little fight here. I would call this a loser leaves town match. Be very interesting to watch. Both do their best work on the ground. Eubanks is pretty savvy from top control, not so great from bottom. Same with Morris. So it's a little bit of a toss-up here. Morris definitely the more experienced fighter. Not a whole lot more experience, but she's definitely been fighting fighters at a higher level compared to, say, Eubanks has. And Eubanks was really trying to have that run in the flyweight division, whereas Eubanks has been holding steady at bantamweight. I'm going to flip a coin here. And we came up Sarah Morris. So we're going to go Sarah Morris. Don't really have a whole lot of interest in this fight, other than to see who wins, who gets to stay, who loses, and who is likely leaves. Then again, they might not leave. UFC might not get rid of whoever loses here because they need bantamweights. The bantamweight division is kind of hurting right now. That's no joke. So that might not be a losers leave town match after all. Okay, so that is the upcoming fights for this week. So let's talk about One Championship and their new ranking systems. So One has developed their own ranking system. It's going to feature the top 5 of each division plus the champion. Champion's going to be, above the rankings, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 below it. And it's going to be judged by an independent ranking panel. And I'll explain why I put it in quotes in a second here. So here is everyone on the ranking panel according to South China Morning Post. First up, Tom Taylor of bjpenn.com. Pretty good one, well-known MMA media website, and Tom Taylor does good work. Stuart Fulton, MMA in Japan. Okay, Stuart Fulton is very well known and respected in the Japanese mixed martial arts community. He does the English commentary for Pancrase. He MCs certain events. He does a lot in that scene over there. So that's a good choice as well. Nick Atkin of the South China Morning Post. Nick's pretty well-knowledged in MMA as well. Ian Schutz of Low Kick MMA. Santino Honason of ABS-CBN. J.M. Siaset of GMA Network. Manabu Takashima of MMA Planet. I know that name, but not very well. Yuji Kitano of Abima TV Japan. Abima is the online streaming service that One Championship is carried on in Japan, and they feature a lot of combat sports on Abima TV, so that's a good one too. James Goiter of AsianMMA.com, good choice. Marcelo Alonso of Tatami Magazine. Didn't know Tatami Magazine was still around. That's interesting to find out. Sazali Abdul Aziz of the Straits Times. Worapath Aranpakdi of Tyrath TV. I'm guessing that's more for the Muay Thai segment. Poptorn Runsamai of Champ Magazine. Probably more to do with kickboxing, Muay Thai there. Wenlap Sawasdi, MGR Online. Adam Qayyum, former fighter. Ann Osman, former fighter. Rich Franklin, former fighter. And Misha Tate, former fighter. So the reason I said independent is that Rich Franklin, Misha Tate, both work directly for One Championship. They're on a payroll. They're executives. Ann Osman, I don't know if she's still working directly for them in some kind of capacity. I know she was for a while after she retired, fighting almost her whole career for One Championship. So it's not fully independent, but at least there's a lot of good names here. Okay, that's way better than the ranking panel for the UFC's rankings, which is just, that's like a dirty turd. Their ranking panel is garbage for the UFC. And at least, if rankings seem a little off here, we're going to know why. It's because of the people that work directly for them. So anyway, let's get into the current rankings. There's two women's weight classes in One Championship for MMA. They also have two for, one for kickboxing, one for Muay Thai. We're not going to go into that. So first up, the one atomweight division, 115 pounds. Champion, Angela Lee, of course. Number 1, Denise Zamboanga. You know, she just beat the perennial contender there, Mei Yamaguchi, and made it look easy. So I don't actually have a problem with that one. The next two I kind of do. Main Bo and Lin Hei-jin, or Bo Main, Hei-jin Lin for the Westerners. Okay, Bo Main only has one fight under one championship. So does Hei-jin Lin. Now Hei-jin Lin, at number 3, she does have a long winning streak. I think it's like 7 fights long or something like that. It's really long winning streak. But it's pretty lousy. I mean, let me look this up here real quick. I think she only has like one decent win on there. That's someone with more than 2 wins. Yeah, her most recent fight was against Jo Marie Torres last March, who was 4-2. Her best win before that in this current win streak was Valeria Sotchenko, who was 2-2 in Kunlun Fight MMA 9, and that was way back in February 2017. So that's kind of a weak number 3 there, although at least she has a decent win streak going. But Bo Meng, I've talked about this before. Yes, she is the only fighter to have won over Weili Zhang back in 2011 or something like that. But her record isn't that great since then. I mean, seriously. Bo Meng, she's 14-5. She's on she's on a 4-fight win streak and has 1 fight in 1 championship against Laura Ball, and she won. That's a really weak number 2 ranking. But I think once they start fighting more, these rankings will get sorted out quicker. We'll see if she can sink or swim. So same thing with Hei-jin Lin. Number 4, Mei Yamaguchi. No problem there. And then number 5, Gina Inyong. Okay. A lot of the girls in that division have a hard time getting a win streak going, so I don't have a problem with Gina Inyong, I guess. But then you go up to, the strawweight division, which is flyweight everywhere else. So you got Jingnan Xiong, the champion. Okay, no problem. Tiffany Teo is number 1. Well deserved. She hasn't lost since fighting Jingnan a few years back in the inaugural championship. So I don't have a problem with that one. Michelle Nicolini, no real problems there. And number 2, she's on I think she has like several straight wins right now. Then you got number 3, Angela Lee. What? She's 0-2 within the division, okay? Yes, she has a win last October over Jingnan Xiong. But that was in a lower weight, that was in a different weight class. And she's 0-2 within this division. So why is she at number 3? I expect that one to hopefully get worked out the more everybody on the ranking panel familiarizes themselves better. Number 4, Ayaka. It says Miyauchi. That has to be Ayaka Miura. Let me see. No, I don't know who that is. Ayaka Miyauchi. Hold on. Let me look this up here. Does she even have any wins? This has to be a mistake. She's 36 years old. She has 1 fight in 1 Warrior Series. At 1 Warrior Series 8 in a Muay Thai bout. They must have meant to put Ayaka Miura in there. There's no way that, yeah, that has to be an honest mistake there. That should be like Ayaka Miura. And then number 5, Mahia Mazar. Okay, that just shows you, I think she only has like 1 win in the division. She was brought in as one of Jingnan's title defenses. Came in straight out of nowhere for that one. But I think that also shows you just how thin this division is. So I'm not going to complain about this one, but Angela Lee doesn't belong in the top 5. Not for a win over the champ in a different weight division. I'm sorry. Not when she has 2 losses in there as well. And then that Miyauchi should have been Ayaka Miura. Maybe that's an honest mistake. I don't know. So that's really the discussion topic for tonight. I just want to talk about the one championship having new rankings, and that's going to be updated every week, or at least every time they have an event. And I'll include those now in my rankings update. So anyway, that's really all I have. Very excited that MMA is back after a month and a half layoff. Excited for the fights this weekend. Anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.